Good evening, friends. Welcome to the India Power Talk. India Power Talk is a knowledge sharing initiative. We invite international thought leaders and domain experts to share their insights, experiences, and strategies related to business and economy. The result is an easily accessible digital source of knowledge that benefits not only Indian entrepreneurs and policymakers, but also international businesses, investors, and strategic partners who have invested in or intend to invest in India. Our speakers include entrepreneurs, economists, professors, investment bankers, inventors, scientists, lawyers, and other senior professionals with experience in diverse sectors. Today, we will talk about international business based on Italian craftsmanship. Italy is a leading manufacturing powerhouse within the European Union, second only to Germany, and first if you take out the automotive sector. In the post-war period, country's economy reinvented itself, transforming from heavily agrarian to highly diversified production of goods. While agriculture remains important in Italy, its success story is based on a combination of traditional hand skills and cutting-edge technology. For example, the country is home to some of the most world's leading companies in the field of robotics. But perhaps what Italian manufacturers are best known for outstanding design and craftsmanship in luxury goods. These range from internationally sought after hand-blown glass objects, exquisite men's and ladies designer fashion, leather accessories, and fine jewelry to exclusive sports car. In fact, Italy is Europe's #1 luxury good hub and #3 worldwide. This combination of traditional skills and modern technology in the area of luxury goods industry is an approach found in India as well. To talk about this fascinating topic, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Cesare Verona, President and CEO of the Italian company Aurora Pens, internationally leading manufacturer of highest quality writing instrument. This family-owned and operated company has a history reaching back to more than 100 years. It is based in the northern Italian city of Turin, home of Fiat Motors. Aurora is the only Italian fountain pen manufacturer and one of the few in the world that creates every part of the pen. This includes even the nib or tip, which is often made of gold and is the heart of fountain pen. Aurora also produces exclusive leather goods and watches. The export success story of Aurora is truly impressive. While in past decades, its exports amounted to only 3% of sales, today exports to more than 50 countries make up over 70% and is still growing. It maintains flagship in various countries around the world, from Asia to America. Dr. Verona graduated in economics with honors at 23 and began his work experience outside the family company, undertaking roles in important companies. He joined Aurora in 1993, bringing with him the skills gained in high-profile positions. He began managing marketing and then export department. After advancing to managing director, Dr. Verona then became president and chief executive officer. He particularly committed in bringing the culture of writing to a wider audience. Welcome, Dr. Verona. It's a pleasure to have you on India Power Talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking time to join me. Dr. Verona, you became CEO of Aurora in 2010. Could you talk something interesting about Aurora Pens, and then what ambitions did you have for the company when you took the full leadership then?
First of all, once again, thank you really to be a host and a guest at India Power Talk. And I really thank Nitid for giving an opportunity to Aurora to, let's say, tell a little bit the story of Italy, the story of our country. And as you have finally expressed, the tradition of hand skills and manufacturing in Italy. Well, when I took Aurora in between 2008 and 2010, it were challenging times. My father was passing the witness of the conduction of the company. He was at that time already nearly 81. And frankly speaking, I was hoping to run, he was walking. I was hoping to turn right, he was eventually staying straight or turning left. I wanted to turn left, he wanted to turn right. So it was kind of, a challenge to try to find a way for the company to reshape and build it up. So I promised to myself that I have to be honest. If I was saying that when you are 81, it's very seldom that you have a vision of the present, and very, very few people can offer the vision of the future, I should have been honest to myself also to decide when to leave, in order not to say that it was easy for him to leave when he was 81, and it's not my turn when I will be 82. So I decided that hopefully I would like to leave the company, if possible, to generation number 5, when the company will be 111 years. I like the idea of 111, which gives me the idea of a start. So still 9 more years to go. But let's go back to 2008. 2008 were challenging year, Lehman Brothers. And I basically bought back the company from my father, my mother, and my sister, becoming the old shareholder and the sole shareholder of the company 100%. From that moment, I had the opportunity to try to reshape a company which had an incredible heritage, but also needed some tuning, like the car, that sometimes you need a good guy to fix it up. So first 2008, 2009, 2010 were real difficult years. We have to restructure the company, to rethink the value chain, to reshape all the flow in the manufacturing. You have precisely said that we are based in Torino, and the company is in a very nice environment. We are in a 12th century abbey. So our premises are inside, let's say, an historical site of 1200. So we had to reshape the flow. We had to reshape the chain. We had to reshape also the mentality of the people. So we basically redesigned completely the floor. We have digitalized all the production.
I see.
And we have introduced a lean approach. So just to give you some numbers, with my father, we had something like 13,000, so 13,000 pens in stock. In this right moment in Aurora, we have no more than 200. So it was a complete change of mind to place the working capital where it was needed, and to use the cash and the financial means for the development of the company. And people are asking me very often, what was the most difficult part? Was it the market? Was it the market disruption, Lehman Brothers, digitalization, whatsoever? I always answer that the most difficult part was to change the mentality of the people.
Absolutely.
Because in a historical company with a long heritage, with roots, the first answer was, we have been always doing like this, which can be very nice for certain reasons, but it was not the answer I wanted to receive from the people. And I was always answering to them, people who have preceded us and were before us were not stupid at all. So if they have decided to do it that way, there was a good reason.
Absolutely.
But can we try to think it in a different way, in a better way, in a more efficient way, in a less costly way, and so on. So drop after drop, it was trying to put into the brain of the people the matter of change. So this was really the turning point. So at the very beginning, people were not understanding where we wanted to go, what was my management ideas, my business ideas, and people were respecting a lot my father and thinking that in some way I was wrong to change. But a crisis has put an Aurora under pressure. We had, unfortunately, to lay off a good amount of people, and to tell the people, to tell the unions, to tell people who were involved as stakeholders that we had a boat that was putting water on the boat, and we were going to sink if we would continue in that way. So we had really to change mentality, direction, and so on. Once, slowly, we have tried and thought that we could do it, then people started to understand that the positioning of the brand, the quality of the products, the production means we're going like a sinfonia, like a play, you know? Yes. And you started to listen to an orchestra, and people understood that it was a nice sound, and people were now trying to put their ideas to the benefit of the others. And when people have started to ask me and other people, say, Dr. Verona, can we do this? Maybe we could think about this. Maybe we could do that. That was, to me, the turning point that the project and the mentality of the people was changing. And we were in the boat where everybody was, I don't know how to say in English, you know, getting the water on the same side and going in the boat. Yes. and make it moving. Okay, so it was the ambition was to change the company, to make it more international, to make it more efficient, to make it profitable.
So nicely explained, I must say, you know, very simply, as in simple words, but very nicely explained, Dr. Verona. So thank you for that. Now, you know, but when you talk of changing the mindset of people, you know, your manufacturing processes clearly demands an extremely high skill level and commitment to quality. Now, my question is, how do you train your craftspeople and cultivate the right mindset in them, because they are artists at the end of the day?
Absolutely. This is a good question, and this is one of the key points. Because when I arrived, average age was around 55 to 60. So we had a lot of experienced people, but we had no younger people to teach them the experience of the people who were living. So we had to try to blend between the youth and the new people coming and the experience of the others. So we are trying to have a program. So now the average age in Aurora is around 35, okay? But I always say that we need people with white hairs. The reason why is because I have white hair, so I'm scared that they want to fire me. And the second part is because I think that between the youth and the open mind of the youngster and a little bit of the experience of the elders, you find a good blend of where to conduct the business. This is one. The second part, which is exactly what you're asking, is how to put together maybe a girl or a boy nearby the master, you know, because in the Rinascimento, in the 14th century, in the 13th century, in the 15th century, in Italy, they said that the maestro was doing the masterpiece, il capolavoro. The masterpiece was the blend of the experience of that man or that woman, but let's say man, that was conveying all his skills, all his savoir-faire, all the experience into one object. So I have to try to put the same story and the same feeling, the same tension to the younger, to learn from the elder how to do less mistakes, how to get the tricks of the business and the tricks of their let's say their work, and this is very, very important. We have a program and a project that usually we have one or two key points in the company, and we have 2 years before, we have person which are living day by day nearby the elder craftsman to learn. That's key. That's key.
Great. That's a very interesting insight, I must say, Dr. Verona. Now, clearly, Aurora is known for the exclusivity in writing instruments. Now, it would seem like a rather a narrow and niche market. Mm. Now, my question is, how do you achieve such a spectacular export growth with such a narrow and niche market?
Well, I have to say, it's true, it's a niche. It's not a high phone market, but it's also true. And if I may say, it is also considered, how you say, unconventional product. I always use an expression in Italian, which can be, I think, translated in English, saying that pen, the fountain pen, so la penna stilografica, is controintuitiva. It's counterintuitive, means that when my father passed the company, he was saying, well, we have no future of the pen. It will be very hard. There will be digitalization. It's going to be a struggle. You will not survive, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking and telling to my father, I'm thinking about a different positioning of the pen, about a product that is giving emotions. It helps to write. Of course, there are less opportunity to write in this right moment in the world, but it's not so true, because pandemia has proven that in reality, I will tell you some story later maybe. So to say that pen is still in the mind of the people, in the hands of the people, because we are human, so we have hands to put a sign. And so we have tried to create the added value, the correct added value, the story of our company, the story of Italy. You have correctly said that Italy is one of the most important manufacturing nation of the world. If you take off the cars, if you have apart from Germany, I mean, Italy is number one. So people have the mind to create objects. So to convey that ability into a product has been the first step. Second step has been to have a strategy.
Yes.
And then a lot of work, I have to say. I mean, things doesn't come, for free. And we have been traveling. I have been personally traveling up to 220 days a year, which basically sometimes you are in a hotel and you don't even know where you are. and so a lot of work and putting together beauty, quality, storytelling, craftsmanship. Well, that has helped us a lot to tell the story of Aurora Pens. So we have started from a bare 3% of export. We are now exporting around 80% of our 75, 78, 80% of our activity, and we will probably still grow a little bit more. So we are growing in Italy, but we are growing faster in the export market. So we have a lot to do. And there is one thing that I don't like at all, that we are not well represented in India, but we will talk about that later maybe. So
great.
So I say growth, it's people, it's method, it's management, it's traveling a lot, talking to people and getting people to know what is a beautiful object.
But just a short question along with this. which country is the major market for your pens?
Well, apart from Italy, we have about 25% in Europe.
Mhm.
We have about 50% between Middle East and Far East. So the answer is the Far East,
Okay.
China, Japan, Korea, and so on. And then we have about 30% in America. So we are quietly well, let's say, balanced,
Balance.
but we still have a lot of markets that we would like to reach, including India, which is something that still, because in India, you have a lot of heritage, you have a lot of people who have been touched by the history of beauty. I had the privilege of traveling to Rajasthan not so many years ago and seeing beautiful
Palaces.
palaces, but beautiful paintings, beautiful craftsmanship, and you could really see the value. And this is something that I think in the Indian mind is there. And
That's across India.
exactly. And and so I said, there is a very large middle class that is, let's say, I think, hoping and aiming to improve their situation. So there is a large population, of course.
We'll come
So
to India. We'll come to India.
okay, so
but
let's go back to Aurora.
but before but just to move from there, and just to continue with what the thought process which your father mentioned. Now, the grandfather of digital age, Marshall McLuhan, I mean, he had wrote once that every innovation makes something obsolete now, but also brings back something else, something new. Now, how do you see the role of fine instruments, particularly in the times when people communicate by email and text messages? And how do you see that happening?
I always say that, like for the umbrella, they have not find a better object to protect from rain. I really hope that pens will still remain a good way of expressing your personality and your way of living. It can be just a quick note. It can be your signature. It can be a love letter. It could be something different. So I feel that, by the way, this pandemic have proven that people loves to write. We are sponsoring, like Aurora, as Aurora, we are sponsoring literature contest, poems contest, and so on. Believe it or not, we have like 3-4 times the usual attendant that are being, let's say, sending what is their creation. So pandemia, I think, has put in the people to think what is important in life.
Yes.
What are the values? How to communicate? How to share? How to be close to the people? My girls, I have 2 girls of 20 and 18. They are one in university, one not yet in university, and they have a pain not seeing the people, not seeing their companions, not seeing their friends. So people have started to write a lot, much more than before.
Yes.
So I see that the pen has been proven to be dead many times. When the first computer arrived, when the first digitalization arrived, I think it's gonna survive. I really hope that Mr. Marshall McLuhan was thinking about products, which can be right, but I really hope that fountain pen will still be alive, and this is the reason why I want to pass this company to the generation number 5, number 6, number 7, and so on. Like the winery, like the winery, good wine. Just take a little sip. You don't have to get drunk. You can still enjoy.
No, I fully agree with you, and this pandemic has really transformed the world into more human, I would say, I'm seeing that honestly, as you rightly mentioned, people are communicating, people want to talk, want to write, want to express themselves, and they want to express themselves the traditional way and not the mechanical way.
Exactly.
What you are saying is absolutely right, and I personally don't see pen or pencil or for that matter any writing instrument where we express ourselves dying so easily and also so early, if I may say that way.
I agree, and I see with people, as you say, that people want to get physical in some way. So they really have understood that we are a social being. And
Yes,
I mean, it's not a matter of texting and saying where you are, who you are, WhatsApp groups, and so on. This it was technology was helping to keep together the people. But I think that when the people will be able to get together, they want to be together. They will
absolutely,
not want to just text. They want to hug, which is very different.
absolutely. Dr. Varuna, let me ask you a different question now. You are involved in the sign, the museum dedicated to writing and the sign people make. Now, could you talk about this institution and the initiative, what it has?
Well, Officina della Scrittura, because that's the name. Officina means craftsman of writing. Okay, was a crazy idea that I had in mind before joining the company. I wanted to create something like for the watch, the concept of time, not a museum of Rolex or the Marpiguet. And the idea is to give back. So in a very, let's say, Anglo-Saxon way, I feel that I am truly happier, more fortunate than many of my companions. And so I wanted to give back to the city, to the people, to the lovers. And I said to myself, well, I'm also a collector. Why should I keep my collection inside my house or inside a bank? Why not put together a project that would touch school, which touch designer, which touch collectors, and put it together? So in Aurora, we have created a large museum of 4,000 meters square, which is quite large. It's about 40,000 square foot, 50,000 square foot, where all the school can come. They understand how the sign was born from the moment where the men have put in the hand on a rock in a cave, from the design, and then inside there is a part of the history and heritage of Aurora, but there is also art gallery where we support artists. There is an area where we have dinners inside with machinery. There is an area where we do a presentation of books. So we have a restaurant inside. So it's like a small city where people are coming to enjoy their time. And we have people that have been coming from Korea, from New Zealand, just because of passion of writing. And you have so many designers, and it gives you the connection of what is happening. So more than 30,000 people have been coming, paying a ticket and getting to Officina della Scrittura. So I'm very happy and proud about this because it's a way of giving back to the city, to the people, to the youngster.
Great.
Giving inspiration.
Absolutely, that's really the true way of giving back in a nicer way to the next generation also, so they can look back and see what has been done in the company so many years. Now, Dr. Varuna, let me bring you back to India. As you know, India has a growing luxury good industry aimed at both domestic and sales and exports also. Now, what advice would you give to Indian companies in this sector? I mean, because you are working in really a niche segment in India, there is a lot of Indian craftsmanship and a lot of niche products which are looking at external market.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Thank you to make me an expert. But as Aurora, we have not been able to get into the Indian market. I don't know if I'm able to give some advice to the Indian entrepreneurs, but let's try at least. I would put history and heritage first, because you have craftsmanship, you have jewels, you have the Maharaja, you have you have the story of beauty in your country. So 1,000, you have color and you have variety. I've been crossing India and by car and seeing so many variety of colors, of people, of languages, which unfortunately I was not able to understand. But this is the heritage. I would say that somebody who wants to take something from India to other country should put together that. And of course, keeping in mind that it's something done by the hands of man, and trying to avoid to become too serial. It has not to be a mass market approach. This is what I would suggest. Now I'm scared because you're going to ask me, what about you? And I say, I have a couple of countries which are my nightmares. One is India, another one is Vietnam. Others are in South America, where for a certain amount of reason, I don't know why, we could not yet find the right partners. So I am taking the opportunity to the Indian Power Talks. I don't know if there are some entrepreneurs that are listening to us or will listen to us. Well, we are ready to talk about India, not only in the Indian Power Talk, but also to talk about Aurora, just to see if we can tell the story to
why not?
Indian people. Let's hope.
Yeah. But my question to you more is that, in India, we have around 6 million of startups, and these are, India is a young country. And these startups are really, really hungry for growth, hungry for technology, hungry for finance, for niche products, and also expanding to global markets. Now, how would you see, when, and I'm again going back to the first point which you mentioned, that how do you replace the old generation or the old thought process? Now, what advice would you really give? Because we have a lot of young entrepreneurs here. They'll be very interested to know from you, what advice would you give to them to really excel in what they're doing?
In Italy, I think there is not so much venture capitalism and startups, unfortunately. And the passage of wealth is not so quick and so, let's say, not only vertical, but horizontal. So I would say India is more like United States in some way, if you have so many startups. Because in United States, you can have a lot of success and you can be billionaire, and in one generation, which very seldom this happens in Europe, where things are more established. Young people, young Indians are very good in numbers. They have very good brain. If I was, let's say, a young gentleman of 30 years or 25 years old, and say, okay, I want to put my company where I should focus my attention. Medical would be one area for sure, because people are getting older but living longer and would need a certain amount of services around the person. I would go for personal taste to nice things, which can be watches, jewels, of course, pens, but something that is giving the opportunity to the people to express themselves. I see that many of the startups have the same idea of sharing a service on an area and giving that with technology to be accessible.
Making it available in mass.
Exactly. To me, which my mind is, create maybe a pen of 300,000 euro, only one. Well, it's completely different mindset. So
no, what you made a very interesting point. I must say, what comes out from you, Dr. Verona, is that and currently, and this is the trend which I am seeing. Majority of, or rather most of the startups, they want if they have a business idea or a product or a service, they want to quickly scale up. Versus what you are trying to point out, or what we're trying to say is create a niche, create something which is unique,
Correct.
which is also another way of looking at a business. Because as I see, currently, literally all the technology companies, they look to expand, they look to just exponentially grow in terms of numbers. They are more geared towards expanding the project, the product, the platform, the customers, and everyone. Whereas your approach seems to be, and which is to my mind a very, very path breaking approach, and could be a very well advised to the young entrepreneurs, as to while size is something, yes, but quality, niche, or specialization also is an important element.
Exactly, because my thinking is that technology is giving you the opportunity to scale up.
Yes.
But technology is, let's say, available in an easy way to everybody. So you can have the neighbor who get a just little bit better idea, and he's going to scale up twice or three times your speed.
Absolutely.
And this is not protectable. So in the niche, when you have something that you can create, you can put, let's say, walls, which are not bad walls, are the idea of that you have something really different from the others. Correct. That cannot be copied, which is giving you the competitive edge, and you don't need to scale up on number to get the things done. And there is something which I really don't understand, and this is something that I'm wrong evidently, is the value of the companies related to the business. I mean, there are businesses that have been created a value of billions, and they have not yet done 1 year of profit. And I don't understand. I mean, if the concept is to create the access to the people, I think that sooner or later, people will understand that there are numbers to become clients, and some people will not be so happy to be that number. It's like to say, okay, I have Face ID on my iPhone, but then they can trace me. They can tell me what I like, where I go. They can offer me things. I mean, I don't like this. I personally don't like. I want to still think about with my own mind.
Absolutely. Okay, let me ask you a completely different question, Dr. Verona. In 2008, when you took over Aurora, your pen company, if I was to turn the time back and put you back in that position, what is the one product that you think you would have wanted to work on or redesign? Not the pen, something else.
Well, let me tell you first another answer, and then I'll try to answer to your question. I've been asking me many times, let's revamp and re-go back to 2008. And I said, I've been very happy because many of the things I was hoping and dreaming has become true.
Okay.
So I feel very fortunate. Number two, what I'm doing is what I like. Nobody has forced me to do it. I badly wanted. My father was against, and I insisted, and I put some money on the top. So I was not willing to do anything else. I'm a watch lover. Usually people who likes watches like pens and vice versa. And honestly, I have not been thinking where I would go unless the driver would be beauty. So my driver is beauty. And sometime, if you would have the opportunity to come to Torino, I hope soon to Italy and to Torino. And
I visited Turin in 1996.
Okay, but it's a very different city.
Sure.
And a better city. But anyway, so if you will have the opportunity, I hope, and other people who are listening to our talk can come to our company, to Aurora Manufacture, you would see a sense of beauty. And when you are being educated to that since generation, you can see the nice and you can suffer for what is not in harmonia or harmonic to the people. So the shapes, I mean, when you see like a nice palace of the Maharaja, you see beauty because you see the proportion, you see the story, you see the heritage, you can imagine the life there. So I'm very happy to be in this kind of field. And I think that Italians, because of the Rinascimento, because of Firenze, because of Lucca, because of Venezia, because we are walking into beauty every single day. And this makes a difference to Americans. I don't want to be rude to people from Finland or from Sweden and so on. We are used to beauty. And so maybe we don't understand why, but Italy is let's say the place where luxury together with France is born, and it's not by chance, it's because of our heritage. And I'm happy to be here. I'm very proud to be Italian, but also happy to have a nice dress on, express myself in some way. It's a way of life, it's a way of thinking. It's, you know, maybe people from Korea will think in a different way, but or Australia, they want to go wild. I don't feel that necessity. I need a nice pair of shoes, or I don't know.
Great. On that really beautiful note, Dr. Verona, let me thank you for your valuable time and insights. It was great talking to you. Before I conclude, I would like to thank your organization for arranging this talk in such a short notice. Along with that, I would like to thank the Tech Plus Academy, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Indian Chamber of Commerce, LawSikho, and the Indian SME Accelerator Network for supporting this Power Talk. Let me conclude with an humble prayer to the Almighty to bestow mankind with the right spirit to fight the coronavirus and restore peace, prosperity, well-being, and beautiful things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nitid, and thank you to India Power Talk. Ciao from Italia.